Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask John Hood and Chris Fitzsimon. This week it was reported that Governor Cooper had given his cabinet secretaries pay increases of 10% or more. Now, in a year when rank-and-file state employees got a $1,000 increase, teachers got nominal increases, some of our cabinet secretaries are now making as much as $217,000 a year. Cooper says the raises are needed to attract and keep good people. What's your opinion, John Hood?
Well, I'm willing to hear Governor Cooper's argument on that. I'm open to the idea that sometimes state government in certain positions has to bid up quite a bit to get people away from potential private sector jobs. I would just note that something similar happened during the early days of the McCrory administration, and it seemed to have been a semi-Watergate event. And this happens, and that way it was reported, Tom, that's true, and we're talking about it here, but it was hardly reported at the same level of vociferous, outrage as it was 4 years ago.
And part of the reason for that was the raises that Governor McCrory gave were to mid to low-level campaign workers who had no experience in the fields that they were hired for in health and human services.
Well, he gave his secretaries raises.
Well, but the big controversy was about the low-level aides in HHS and other places that worked at the campaign. Look, I'm not defending this necessarily. I think we should have maybe some more transparency about it. It's interesting, though, we are in an era where we have a university president that makes more than $500,000 a year. I think overall state government salaries haven't risen as much as they can at the top and the bottom. It's also worth noting Governor Cooper proposed bigger raises in many cases, and his budget wasn't approved by the General Assembly. So this is a story that's going to happen I think people are going to be understandably upset every time this happens. I'm not sure it's the worst thing in the world.
Well, I'm specifically looking at rank-and-file state employees who haven't had a significant pay increase in a number of years, and I'm sure this rankles some of them. But isn't this argument about, well, we have to be competitive with the private sector in order to be able to get and keep good public employees? Isn't that a legitimate argument for most every position in state government, John?
Well, it is an argument that is legitimate. That doesn't mean it applies to every position or that it is persuasive for every position. And that's my problem with it. Sometimes you really can make that argument better for leaders or managers or people with high level of technical skill or physicians that staff hospitals at UNC and so forth. Sometimes that argument is better than it is for other jobs. But this is also true. Not every private sector employee that goes to his manager and says, hey, I could make more money somewhere else, raise my pay. They don't always get pay raises out of that.
Well, is the problem, Chris, the fact that these cabinet secretaries are effectually limited in what they can, can be paid?
They are limited. The other thing is, we have talked on this show a lot about, it used to be state employees, you would be told as a state employee, you may not make as much as the private sector, but your benefits will be much better. Your retirement system, your healthcare system, we've eroded those things at the same time that we haven't given them a pay, which I think is why a lot of state workers are understandably upset.
Yeah. And this compensation is, as I'm sure, something we're going to be talking about again, particularly when the legislature comes back to its short session in May. Well, thank you for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.